Hello guys, welcome to the next episode in my Necro campaign series. We have made it into Act 7. The only thing that has really changed from last episode is that I added a chance to poison support to my Carrion Golem Feeding Frenzy setup. You can just buy that from Lily in Act 6. And we also in the very end of the last episode bought Purity of Elements, which you can now use, and that will give you a lot more elemental resistances. We are almost capped on them right now, which is very nice and will make us quite a bit more tanky. So now for the first area, the Broken Bridge, you just want to follow the road until you find the next area. And in the next area the waypoint is pretty important. You will see that the next area connects to 4 different other ones, and it's kind of like the main area, the Crossroads right here. As you can see, this connects to multiple other areas, and we will need to go here quite often. So in the middle, after you follow the road for a while longer, you will find the waypoint, and I would recommend going up first. Now this area we are going to be seeing will probably remind you of Act 2. This is the same area as the Chamber of Sins, I think. Might actually be called the same. The Chamber of Sins. And for this area this works exactly the same way as it did in Act 2. You just want to find your way to the middle. And then now there is a small difference, because last time we could just walk into the direction of the waypoint. However, this time we will have to do a little quest before we can go into this direction. We will now have to go to the Crossroads again. And now we move down, because we need to find Maligaro's map. And then we can use it in the map device we found in the Chamber of Sins. And after we've defeated the boss of that map, we get an obsidian key that leads us into the next area. So here again, just follow the road. That's pretty much the best way to navigate any area in this act. A lot of them just have nice roads that lead you to where you need to be. And now when you find this structure, just go into the temple. And there's the Crypt. Now in this area there's another Trial of Ascendancy. We are going to have to complete that one. Okay, seems like we found it. And here I'm going to go for some life first, and after that we can grab a little bit of extra monster damage, or minion damage. But with our 2k life, this is a very good number to have, and you should feel very tanky, especially with all of the elemental resistances we have. The only thing that can really deal a lot of damage to you right now is physical damage, like for example these traps, or if you go into melee range with some of the enemies. Now you can check right here, we just need one more trial and then we can ascend again. And I think that's going to be in Act 8. So here there's a sarcophagus, and you can go into the next area. And here you are looking for the exclamation mark to find Maligaro's map. Okay, it seems to be up there. And we dropped another Chaos Orb, just pick that up. And now once we've found the map, exit to character selection and log back in to get to town. And now we can go to the Chamber of Sins, talk to Silk right here, and now put the map in and activate it. This is a preview to what the endgame will look like, because in the endgame there's also going to be a map device where you can put your maps in and then run them. And here you just want to check the edges for some wooden bridges like this one. And I think you have to find like 2 or 3 of them. Okay, there is another one, very nice. And this should be the last one. You can see the entrance to the boss fight. And this is also another boss we know already. Maligaro, he is also one of the guardians of Decay. If you remember in Act 6 last time, we fought Chevron and Brutus, who was one of the guardians. In this act we fight Maligaro. And then we also fight Deadeye at some point again. Now for him he's quite easy, you just have to damage him, and at some point he disappears and spawns like this spider and scorpion. But you have so many minions at this point that they can just take a lot of the damage and you don't have to worry about anything. And now I'm just going to open up a portal scroll. I have a hotkey, you can just right click on them, and this will take you back to the Chamber of Sins. There you can talk to Silk, he's going to give you the key. And now you can go into the direction of the waypoint. And you will find this next area. Now for this is exactly like the Chamber of Sins we had in Act 2. And here is another Trial of Ascendancy. So technically after we've done this, I believe we can already do the Ascension. However, I'm going to wait to the start of Act 8. Because in Act 8 there will be the Aspen's Plaza again, like the trial statue. If you remember when we were in Act 6, Act 3, in the town, in the Sarn encampment, there was the Aspen's Plaza. And as Act 8 is kind of like a rework of Act 3, it's going to have that same plaza again. And the trial is a little bit higher level anyway, so it makes sense to do it in one act and not right now. Another crafting recipe, and then just click it's right here, and now we have 3 out of 3 and can do the trial or the Ascendancy next time. And then you just want to go on in this area trying to find the exit. I think it's over here. Yeah, very nice. Once you see this exclamation mark, you know you're going the right way. We just have to wind up around here. There's no boss fight this time. If you remember in Act 2 we had to fight a boss there, Fidelitas, but now you can just click this right here and move on to the den. And now we are technically in an Act 3 area. This was the area... actually no, it's Act 2 still. This was the area leading up to Vaal Oversoul in Act 2. And instead of the Ancient Pyramid right now, we are going to see something similar, an Ancient Temple. It's basically the Ancient Pyramid but poison themed, a lot of spiders, because that's kind of the theme of this act. But it's very similar. And there's the exit. Okay, actually we have to do some other things before we get to the temple. Yeah, actually we have to do quite a bit more. I forgot about this part of the game, but we have to do some more quests, and then at the end of this act we get to do the Poison Temple. So here, this is another boss fight. He's going to summon his dog first, as a mini-boss. Going to appear right about now. Dog's not that difficult. Then Gruthkul himself is going to drop down. He's also not that difficult. He does have an attack where he throws spears at you. Those deal a lot of damage. If you want to hide, you can just go behind this thing right here and he won't be able to hit you. But he shouldn't be a problem. Now onto the northern forest. Here you're looking... The very first thing is going at the bottom side of this, or at the bottom edge. Kind of like the left edge of this area. You want to stick to it until you find that red thicket. Okay. Usually the red thicket is a bit earlier than that, but we found it anyway. And in this area you will have to collect 7 fireflies. So there will be these exclamation marks all over this area. And you have to just move to them, click on them and collect them. Like this. Click on them, they will drop to the ground and you pick them up. And also there's a boss fight. This gives us another passive point, so we will do it. There we go. Maybe this is a helmet upgrade. Need to check it. That's decent. But no upgrade. And now we are just looking for the fireflies. Right. And now we go out of this area again. And we continue up north. Until you find the Causeway. There we go. This area is also a little bit weird to navigate. You can just usually go in one direction as the dead ends are not that long. If you are in a dead end, you will find out very quickly and then you can just turn around. We see the waypoint. And from here we just have to find the exit. There will also be another quest item which you have to pick up. I think it's Waylam's Locket. And once you go back to town, Waylam will give you a passive skill point for that. So be sure to pick it up. Okay, so this is just a total dead end. Probably have to go left. And there you can see the quest item. And now we go on to the Vaal City. For this area, there's quite a bit of theory on how to navigate it. I will just... The most basic thing I can say is go straight until you find anything blocking your way, and then go right. That's usually something that works. There's a lot of different layouts for this. So it really depends on what layout you get. But as you can see, I'm already seeing the waypoint. And once you see the waypoint, that's already a very good sign. And you just want to find Hina right here. If you talk to her, she's going to consume the fireflies and burn. And Hina now turns into a fox or something. Yeah, the lore for this game is really something. I don't know, but Hina is now a fox. And she opened the door for us. So now we can do the poison temple I was talking about. And for this it's pretty important that you have a blink ability, because in the later areas there might be some bridges that are broken and you can just dash across them, because if you do not have your dash ability you would have to walk around. There's also this area where you can sometimes find some nice items, maybe drop some nice unique for you. You don't have to do this area, but it's just something they added. And there we can see the exit. The exit is usually like somewhat diagonally of the entrance. So if you walk into like, or at least close to the diagonal direction, you should find the exit quickly. Sometimes it's different, but it's like the most consistent way I can describe it. And it seems my game crashed. That's unfortunate. So I guess we are collecting some passive points. And here with Whalem as well. Now I can get some more life and minion damage. Also not bad. Now we have to go to the Vaal City again and walk through the temple a bit. Now with binding, that's very nice. And I'm also going to pick up that life flask. And we are back to where we crashed. Almost. Alright, so as I said, we are going to go back to where we crashed. And then move on as diagonal as we can. Now to the right a bit. And we see the exit. Very nice. We're in the Decay Temple level 2. Here we will also go down a few levels. And another exit. Very nice. My level is also like pretty fine right now. I try to remind you like once every episode that you should look out for your level, because especially for a new player, just try to really stay in the 3 level margin of the area, so that you are not underleveled and don't feel weak at any point during progression. Very important. And here, if you try it a few times, you can dash over it. Otherwise you would have to go like this way around, which is a bit annoying. Sometimes the gaps are too big, but if you move left and right a bit and try it sometime, you will get the jump over. Okay, now as you when you see this purple looking area, this is the last part, and you will just have to move straight and then up left. And this is the final boss fight of this act already. So right here, this is Sin, no, Silk is his name, and he has married a spider. The lore for this game, as I said, is really something, and he is now going to like combine with the spider in the fight, which is going to be the phase 2. And for this boss, just stay out of the lasers. Like, most of the attacks in this fight are very telegraphed, so you shouldn't have to worry a lot. There is one attack where the spider does like laser beams. When she does that, you have to like dash out. Maybe she does. There we go. These laser beams. I just dash to the other side. And as you can see, the boss is a really no issue. And then maybe she dropped something nice. I'm going to pick up these two scepters because they can have some nice modifiers. Nothing too great, I think. To sin. And we have unlocked another like major power right here for the Pantheon. I'm going to stay with the Soul of the Brine King for the campaign and also the maps. And now I'm also going to use an Orb of Transmutation on this flask to make it magic. Just a chance to get some better stats. And the last thing we are going to do is move through this area. I'm actually thinking about doing the Trial of Ascendancy in this episode as well, because Act 7 is kind of a shorter act, and we usually have like around 30-minute episodes, so I might do the trial once we reach Act 8 right here, and then end the episode after that. And here you have to walk back on the high wall until you find town. And this should feel similar to you. This is just Act 3 with a green filter on it, pretty much. And now I'm going to go up here, into the Esperance Plaza again. And now if you look here, this is technically for level 55, or this is at least the recommended level. I'm going to do it right now. However, if you don't feel that comfortable with doing it right now, you can also wait until after Act 8 or even after Act 9. You can just do it whenever, because the power we get from this labyrinth will be 10% more minion damage and more minion life. So it's a good notable, but it's not like that game changing. So let's see our damage with Isao. I would also recommend in the trial especially to spam your Summon Raging Spirits before he even spawns, so you have 20 when he spawns. And that's some very decent damage. There we go.
You were born for this. Loyalty is a fire that spreads quickly if the forest is dry.
I have to push the lever. Let's see which exit is the correct one. There's probably one up here and then one to the left, to the right. And this one leads down into another room, so I'm going to try the right one. And this should lead us straight to the next area. Perfect.
When I'm ready and not before.
Okay, let's see where this takes us. Now this takes us back, don't want that. And here I already see this is named Esperance Trial, so this is the correct one.
When the time comes to strike,
There we go, fight number 2 with Isaro.
strikes without hesitation. Only as efficient to entity commands is to dance with death.
When he does a big leap slam, you can also dash away, or just walk away. Just try to not get hit by it. Another thing that can happen is that he can target your minions with his big sweep skill. So he can hit you with an attack that's directed at a minion, and he just gets lucky and hits you instead.
One of your lessons was
So also
Ascendancy.
be careful in which direction he's looking. Okay, this goes up. There's another exit to the right. Hopefully this goes into the right direction. Yeah, this goes straight. Perfect. And now we just have to find one more exit to the Aspirant's Trial to fight Isao the last time. And Aspirant's Trial, there we go. This is the last fight,
Aspirant.
and after that we can ascend for the second time.
An emperor. Our throne is the most devious trap of them all.
I need more mana.
Rise to the occasion.
And there we go, got him. I'm going to pick up some item. Maybe the two-stone ring we picked up is nice. Right here, let's see. So this is very nice if you get something like this. This gives us cold resistance, lightning resistance, and fire and cold. So I'm definitely going to be using that. Now we can open some chests. And then also remember that you can do this, transform a skill gem into a transfigured version, and maybe we get something good. Now we get actually 2 good gems. I don't know which one is more expensive. I'm just going to guess that Animate Guardian of Smiting is more expensive. It is like 9 to 10 chaos, very nice. Molten Strike of the Zenith would have probably also been good. Just depends on what you get. Alright, and now we move over to the Trial of Ascendancy and ascend into a little bit more damage. Okay, so this is going to wrap up today's episode for the Act 7 and the Trial, I guess. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And then I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.